This is Michael Popok, Legal AF, because breaking news doesn't take a vacation. I'm not going to either. Let's talk about Fani Willis and the new developments down in Fulton County in her likely indictment and prosecution of Donald Trump. That decision to be made somewhere between July and September, so says her office. In the meantime, she's continuing to develop her case to bring into a regular grand jury over the summer. Now she's got 8 cooperating witnesses, 8 cooperating former targets and or witnesses who were fake electors. Recall that in December 14th of 2020, a group of 16 fake electors met after Georgia had already certified and recounted and hand counted 3 times the election in favor of Joe Biden. Despite that, in order to, in their words, buy Donald Trump some time to do mischief, to wreak havoc, to cling to power, I guess, they signed together a certificate that they claimed was legitimate, but was a fake elector certificate because they were not electors. The electors were committed and had to vote for Joe Biden, who had won the state, in order to exercise the will of the people, in order to fulfill the will of the people. And therefore, these fake certificates, though, were without the appropriate seal, without the appropriate red wax seal and ribbon and certificate and governor's signature, sent to the National Archive as if they were certificates, sent in to the Senate, where John Eastman for Donald Trump believed that awaiting Mike Pence would participate in the conspiracy, participate in the overthrow of the government, and recognize these fake certificates. That group of people, many of whom occupied major positions of leadership within the Georgia Republican Party, the Georgia GOP, including the very head currently of the Georgia GOP, David Schaefer. Of course, all these electors became very interesting to Fani Willis in her prosecution. And so they ran out and got lawyers. In fact, at one point, they had one set of lawyers. They had Kim DeBrow and they had Holly Pearson. Eventually, because the judge got involved with possible conflicts because of a misalignment of interest between all of these various joint parties, Holly Pearson went off to represent David Schaefer. Kim DeBrow kept 10 of the electors. Some of the others retained their own counsel from the beginning. And there began the dance and the negotiations with Fani Willis's Fulton County DA's office to try to see if any of them, rather than testify before the grand jury, would take an immunity deal. We revealed on a prior hot take and on a legal and political podcast that I co-founded and co-anchor on Wednesdays and Saturdays right here on the MeidasTouch network called Legal AF. We just reported about 3 weeks ago that at least two of Kim DeBrow's fake elector clients were likely participating with the Fulton County DA. Now, based on a filing that happened on Cinco de Mayo, on 5/5, by Kim DeBrow to oppose a motion to disqualify that was brought by Fani Willis, she claims now that 8 of the 10 of her clients, 8 out of 10, took the deal. She says that in April, late April, Fani Willis's office presented a formal written immunity deal to her clients. 8 of the 10 took the deal, and 2 of the 10 went off and got a new lawyer. Therefore, she argued, there's nothing to disqualify. I did my job, and any ethical charges against me are false and meritless. This is her argument, Kim DeBrow's argument. But what we take away from this is there's now 8 cooperating fake electors who, in return for full testimony, truthful testimony against all those that in the conspiracy, right, put them in the middle of the fake elector part of the scheme, right? We know there's multiple prongs of the scheme from the Jan 6 committee and its investigative work. One prong was phone calls by Donald Trump, Mark Meadows, and others like Lindsey Graham into high-level officials, from the Secretary of State to members of the state legislature to election officials on the ground, including, as I said, Donald Trump himself. That's one aspect, one thrust of the conspiracy. Another thrust was all these crazy hearings, phony hearings that Rudy Giuliani was holding around the state. Another thrust was Donald Trump calling the Speaker of the House of Georgia, who's now passed, trying to convince him to convene a special grand jury to overthrow the will of the people. And then you have the fake electors. The fake electors, this special breed of idiot, of insurrectionist, clinging to power, trying to help their cult leader, Donald Trump, remain in power. They met as a group on December the 14th of 2020 and executed a document which they claim to be a valid certificate of electoral vote, a certificate of election. We call it the fake elector scandal, but they didn't label it as a fake elector certificate. They labeled it as legitimate, and that was the problem. When the National Archive got it, they were like, what's this? We already have a Joe Biden set of properly executed, properly conformed certificates of electors for the state of Georgia. What is this other thing? What is this, this phony thing? And of course, Mike Pence, his only moment of bravery or courage, or he was just scared, decided not to recognize those fake electors. Those people, those fake electors, committed a crime under Georgia law in interfering with the election. And so that's why there was an immunity deal. The big kerfuffle that came out just 3 weeks ago is that apparently Fani Willis's position is an immunity deal was on the table in December of 2022, this past December. And they couldn't understand why none of Kim DeBrow's 10 clients, none of them took the deal. And some of them, when interviewed 3 weeks ago with Kim DeBrow, said they didn't even know about the immunity deal on the table, which led to Fani Willis filing the motion for disqualification. They're fighting now over how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Did Kim DeBrow properly inform her clients about the immunity deal? Was there an actual written immunity deal for her to even discuss? Did the Fulton County office play a little fast and loose with who they were willing to immunize and who they weren't? And did that really make it a tangible, concrete offer of immunity for which a defense lawyer needed to inform her client? These things will all get sorted out in front of Judge McBurney, former Chief Judge McBurney, but now Trial Judge McBurney in Fulton County, who's overseeing all things Fani Willis and the grand jury and the grand jury process. But this is the hot take. This is the takeaway. 8 more cooperating witnesses with immunity who will testify not only about what each other did, right? The gang that couldn't shoot straight, or the circular firing squad that they created, where they're pointing fingers at each other, and that's already happened because that's been the report since Fani Willis met with at least 2 of them with her investigative team. The real issue is, where will they point the finger up the chain? Who in the Trump campaign was responsible? Who in the West Wing was responsible? Who in the inner circle of Donald Trump was responsible? How deep into the cabinet? How deep into the chief of staff? How deep into Mark Meadows did this conspiracy go? Or Rudy Giuliani? Or Steve Bannon? Or Michael Flynn? Or John Eastman? Or Sidney Powell? And then ultimately, as you climb that ladder, do any of the fake electors who were senior GOP, senior Republican officials in Georgia, can any of them point the finger and connect the dots and link the chain to Donald J. Trump? That's for Fani Willis to develop with her investigative team. When she's ready in July or September, she said she will make her charging decision by either the July regular grand jury. They meet every 2 months. One is meeting right now in May. She's not there. But there will be another one in July, if not July, September. She has told courtroom security personnel that she's going to make the decision in July or September. So get ready and start planning for any kind of Jan 6-like attack on the Georgia State House, the DA's office in Georgia, or the courthouse, which all sit directly across from each other in Atlanta. So she's told them that. And that's what we're waiting for. And what we're watching in the meantime, although people are getting frustrated that things aren't moving fast enough, but what you are watching in real time is a dedicated, focused prosecutor. Fani Willis, Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James wearing her hat as New York Attorney General, building their case. And you get to watch it with us through hot takes like this one that I bring almost every day. And if I'm not doing it every day or every few hours, one of my co-anchors on Legal AF, Ben Meisalis, founder of the MeidasTouch Network, co-founder of the Legal AF show with me, co-anchor of all things Meidas, and Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, top prosecutor, we're bringing this to you on a daily basis from midnight all the way till 11:59 the next day. Every hour with a new hot take that's up, giving you real-time information. And then on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we curate all of this information and give you the best 4 or 5 stories that you need to know at the intersection of law and politics, that politically charged arena. Because that's what we're bringing to you. And you can follow me, and if you like what I'm doing here and you like this content to come to you uninterrupted, one way to do it is give me a thumbs up, literally thumbs up on the YouTube video. You can also start commenting. I read the comments. It helps improve the content. I may even talk back to you in the comment. I've been known to do that. And then you can follow me on all things social media at MS Popok. This is Michael Popok, Legal AF reporting.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.